This is a biological super hard drive holding about 6 gigabytes of data. Inside every one of your cells is a 2-meter DNA strand. What happens if we secretly snip off a tiny piece? Everyone has thousands of mistakes or deletions in their DNA. Sometimes these errors create miracles. For example, by deleting 32 characters on the CCR5 gene, you become immune to HIV. That's because when the CCR5 gene is missing, it breaks the gateway the HIV virus uses to break in. Makes sense. But if you accidentally cut the genes for fat metabolism, it causes werewolf syndrome, where hair grows all over the body. Fat genes causing hair growth. Sounds pretty strange, right? To understand why, look at how DNA tidies up its home. How do you fit a 2-meter strand into a tiny cell nucleus? If left alone, it would tangle like earphones. Let's coil it up. Let's begin. You'll need 30 million tiny foam balls. Wrap the DNA twice around each ball. Now it looks like a beaded necklace next. Use these circular clips to loop it, merging loops into isolated blocks called TAD regions. Much neater now. Dozens of these TAD regions link up to form a chromosome. 46 of these clusters are packed into the cell nucleus. Only during cell division do they tighten into the familiar X shape. In a study on hypertrichosis, one patient was found to have accidentally deleted some clips, destroying heavy-duty TAD regions. This structural collapse is the key. Coiling isn't just about saving space. It also keeps each TAD region spatially independent. This allows genes inside to safely connect to distant activator stations through specific regulator proteins, enabling precise gene control. In patients with excessive hair, its control switch is stuck in the on position. To find it, we must first understand how normal hair grows. Inside the vibrant dermal papilla, the heart of the hair, this is where life begins. Hair grows right from here. Since the papilla is the core of the hair follicle, doctors performed a small surgery to take samples. They were sent to the lab and sliced into 17 nanometer layers. Then observed under a high-powered electron microscope. Let's work backward from the hair strand. Hair grows fast because the hair matrix keeps dividing and pushing up. Their origin is the mother cells at the very bottom. Supporting them is a reservoir of progenitor cells and the supreme stem cells. But who is pushing them? It's this WNT growth signal. This signal is like a magic switch, keeping stem cells dividing. To grow embryos, regrow lizard tails, or regenerate flatworms. In the follicle, the dermal papilla is the source of that signal. To see if the papilla is the only driver, we tried to grow them separately to see if they'd still work. We couldn't find a perfect lab, but this paper found that when papilla cells are isolated, they lose their ability to direct hair growth. Why? It means there's a hidden boss in the team. Hypertrichosis is extremely rare, with fewer than 100 recorded cases. It's unlucky for the individual, but for science, these people are hidden heroes for finding the culprit. Looking closely at their follicles, they look just like anyone else's. The roots are embedded in tens of thousands of fibroblasts. Fibroblasts are usually responsible for making collagen, acting as the skin's scaffolding. Zoom in, here's the bug. Incredibly, 500,000 bits of DNA data were lost here. The broken ends were forced to fuse together. This accidentally pushed a potassium channel gene next to a switch. It caused this power source to run at high speed. The fibroblast happened to have the right relay to catch it, activating the potassium channel wildly, oversending signals. And then, usually, these ion channels let positive particles flow out in one direction. Positive and negative charges attract, hogging the cell membrane. This creates the magnetic poles, just like a battery. This is called membrane polarization. All living cells have this kind of voltage. Normally, the fibroblast battery is at about -6 but in these patients, with too many channels open, the voltage surges to about -12 millivolts. This supercharge directly decides the state of the hole next door. Next to the potassium channel is the calcium channel. Normally, calcium flows into the cell membrane to suppress cell overreactions. Connect the dots. The two clues finally snap into place. This calcium channel has four positive charged security bars. Pulled down by the intense force of the supercharge, they snap the locks, twisting like a camera shutter. As it rotates, it seals the entrance tight, blocking all calcium. Without calcium acting as a nanny to keep
Fibroblasts
things in
become
check, hypersensitive to every tiny signal. They fire growth signals to the hair stem cells, causing them to frantically hit the switch, generating a massive wave of new hair cells. Forcing the dermal papilla to party, that's why hair grows wild. In healthy skin, fibroblasts work in this exact same way. Turns out, fibroblasts are a power station that triggers the hair papilla. Let's reverse it. In experiments, researchers hair stripped some black mice. When they injected male hormones DHT into the skin, DHT entered the mouse papilla and ordered it to shut down, sending a death signal that stopped all hair growth. Later, they manipulated the potassium channel gene to fibroblasts into a supercharged state. And just like that, the mouse started growing hair again. Could this save the hairstyles of those going bald? In balding patients, their genes are hypersensitive to male hormones. Too much male hormone accumulates in the follicle, causing the system to malfunction and produce too much DHT, overloading the system and triggering self-destruct orders. After that sequence of blows, the growth signals fade away. The cell battery dies, causing hair to fall out like rain. I feel bad for the mice. Using gene therapy directly on humans is too risky. It could turn a simple baldness issue into a life-threatening danger. However, the common hair growth product minoxidil works similarly. It opens up the booster channels of many cell types, charging the batteries and hitting the growth switch for the scalp. A signal tower. Even if we don't have the werewolf gene, we can still use this spray to wake up the fibroblasts. Persistent use keeps the follicle environment fully charged. Hair roots will grow deep and strong for mild hair loss. Hair grows back thick. With regular use, even severe loss improves. Across the body's largest organ, millions of roots are regenerating. Each needs tens of thousands of cells working together. This is the truth of life, a silent pact refined over billions of years. In the past, these mysteries usually ended in failure. Until now, when we have finally found a common language, every super hard drive DNA records the fate of every cell, waiting for the moment when two cell layers press together, creating a resonance that draws an invisible map of destiny. Following the map, stem cells gradually cluster together. Soon, they lock into the priceless dermal papilla. Meanwhile, most of them spread out behind, becoming fibroblasts to guard the hair papilla's mission. "100 minutes passed so fast. See you in the next episode."